Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. A bit of a slow start there, but I pressed some wrong buttons. But welcome to this new video here on XRP this morning. We're going to do a full update this time. First time around, you can see the right screen, or at least, well, it seems like it at least. But we're going to do a full update on XRP here because we already talked about this yesterday in my middle of the day market update. Which was quite important because yesterday, obviously, in the markets, we had quite a lot of volatility. I mean, it was the most volatile, or at least the most active Saturday I've seen in months, I think. So that in general is quite positive, and that also makes me a little bit more hyped up about the crypto markets, to be fair. In the short term, or at least in the medium term, I'd say, next 2 months. But that also means for XRP, and we briefly spoke about this in the update yesterday, that XRP has been able to break this level here at 2.07. Now, this in itself was not completely unexpected. I mean, yesterday what we saw, especially also in the morning, is that there was quite a lot of leverage coming into the markets, including for XRP, and I'll show you that as well with a little bit more detail, so you can see what I'm talking about. But the open interest rallied up quite nicely, and that was with low volume. So what I said is that, you know, we can actually rally up higher into these into the previous value area high right here, as you can see from that tight balance we had. But ultimately, it's a low volume move in the weekend. I will not trust it. And that is something I have slightly changed my mind about. Not completely, but slightly. All right, because what you can see, if you take a look at XRP right here, is that yes, it is true that we've gotten a lot of leverage into the markets, but not all the open interest was just longs being opened. Right, so here you can see the open interest since the 10th of April. For XRP, it's actually pretty decent. I mean, like I said, you do have some leverage positions being opened, especially in the afternoon, but then you also have the open interest going up right here and quite a few shorts being opened. So that means that yes, there is leverage in the markets, but there's liquidity on both sides. And then outside of that, what has also changed, especially if you take a look at the entire market, is that yesterday morning volume obviously was down a lot, but now you can see that the volume for XRP over the last 24 hours is actually up 17.4% from a Saturday into a Sunday. I can tell you last week the volume from Saturday into Sunday was minus 50%. All right, so this is major. All right, and this might be even front running some sort of a bullish US equity opening. Yesterday, obviously, we had some positive headlines about the tariffs and some products and some parts being exempt. So this could be front running the stock markets opening bullish. And if the stock markets open bullish, that's going to have a positive effect on Bitcoin, and a strong Bitcoin has a positive effect on XRP. So therefore, I have to say, we have reclaimed the value area low right here. I already thought it was most likely, or that this reclaim back above 1.95 was going to hold. What I said yesterday, though, is I think it's also quite likely that we're going to fill some of the imbalances to the downside. And that is what I've changed my mind upon. All right, I do think that, you know, like I said, there is a lot of liquidity. The volatility index is still incredibly high. All right, so volatility you should be prepared for. But ultimately, I do think it's most likely we will be able to hold this level right here between 2.06 and the support level at 1.97, excuse me. And that we will also, you know, maybe we need some stability first, but that we will also be able to rally into that level right here at 2.3, conservative target, potentially into 2.4. The POC, little bit more of an optimistic target. But that is what I would say is most likely based on the technicals right here, but also based on my expectation of the fundamentals and kind of just in general what we're observing over the course of this weekend. So a pullback, you should definitely be prepared for that. But structurally, I have to be a little bit more bullish on XRP here. So those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. If you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.